So in this video, we'll do a little bit of approach, a little bit of short game.
Okay.
But what I want you to do in the meantime, and you don't have to look at the camera or anything special, just hit some shots and then kind of give us a little bit of an update about what's been going on.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into some specialty shots, right?
Okay.
Those up.
Yeah, so I guess to catch everybody up on the last, I don't know, month, 6 weeks, I've played now 4 Alabama Tour events. I've made 3 out of 4 cuts. I'm sitting around 50th on the money ranking, so I've done okay so far. Nothing great, nothing special, but it's been a decent start. I'll just kind of list off the first few events. I went even par, tied 50th, 7 under, tied 18th, missed cut, and then last week I finished even par and tied 40th. Ball striking's been very good, just kind of lacking in the putting area. My putting stats kind of low, so
Sure.
kind of just go be focusing a little more on the short game and putting for the next 3 events. I'll be playing the next 2, potentially the next 3 weeks. Next 2 weeks I'll be in Fukuoka for Alabama Tour, and then hopefully I get to play in the main tour event in Tochigi, Japan Players Championship, in 3 weeks.
So basically, Alabama Tour, if I'm correct, top 20 at the end of the season basically gets you in the first 8 starts or whatever it is in the JTTO next year.
Correct, yeah. Top 20 on the money list this year gets you into about the first half of the season for main tour next year.
Okay.
Which is 8 to 10 events.
Okay.
And then they do the re-ranking.
And then you're currently placed at 50th, correct? Or somewhere around there?
Somewhere right around 50th, yeah.
Okay. What do you need to do then maybe to get into the top 20? Give me maybe finishes or maybe, money ranking or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few ways to get there, but the best way would be to win one tournament. That'll give me enough money or pretty much bump me up big time.
That'll take care of the rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously winning is the #1 priority, but if you want to break it down, pretty much give me 2, 3 top 10s would be great.
Okay.
Out of the last 8 events. So just continue to make cuts and finish a little stronger, and I guess for me start off a little stronger.
Yeah, that's what it looked like on the tournaments I've seen. Basically, you're kind of in the top 60-ish, 50-ish in the first 2 rounds.
Yep.
And then you start to pick up some steam towards the end, shooting a few under par.
Yeah, only one event I've started off strong, and I ended up finishing top 20. So I guess 3 out of the 4 I kind of start off around even par, 1 over.
Yeah.
Last event I shot 4 over first round.
Okay.
And then, but my best round every week is my second round, which I guess is good because you're making the cut.
Yeah, exactly.
You're playing well at least 1 of the 2 days. So most important thing is to make cuts and then try to win.
I like it.
You can't win the tournament on the first day, but you can lose the tournament on the first day.
That's for sure.
So
If you ain't back after the first day, it's pretty much impossible at that point.
yes.
All right.
So a little better start, make a few more birdie putts.
All right, Grant. Well then, now that we got the update out of the way, let's get into the fun stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a few situations that, most of our watchers will probably be in the same situations as well.
Yeah.
And kind of walk me through how you hit it. Walk me through basically how you analyze the lie, how you analyze then where the pin is, and relative to the lie and where the pin is, what shot you're going to play. Also, maybe you could even factor in, hey, I need to make par these next 3 holes to make the cut. How are you going to play it? How does that change?
Yeah.
So let's cut here and then get into an interesting shot.
Okay.
All right, Grant, go for it. So the lie that you're currently hitting with, I would say, is definitely on the tighter side.
Yep. So
You got a little bit of the green raised situation as well. I think for most amateur golfers, this screams duff or blade over the green. So walk me through some of the basics you would kind of implement in this situation.
Okay. So the start, whenever I'm chipping, whenever I'm walking up to my ball, the first thing I always do is look at the lie, because that's going to determine how I'm going to hit the shot and what shot I want to play with what club. So with this lie, it's kind of dry. a little tight lie, but I got just enough grass to where I can get a little under it if I wanted to. I'll show you the 2 shots I would play from here. So the first one is more high risk. So I have an okay lie. I can open the face and hit a higher shot, which would probably I would land it maybe 1 yard to 2 yards on the green.
Okay.
Somewhere between here and here.
So the benefit in that situation is you really don't have to be so worried about the fringe or like what type of bounce will occur if you landed in the fringe. You're probably hitting more of a smoother surface. It's more reliable.
Correct.
What's the con though?
So I guess the pro is I can hit this shot closer, but I can also hit it further away. I can either hit a great shot with some spin and some height and get it close, or you can kind of duff it or...
So the probability of a double kind of goes a little bit up. At your level, maybe not as high as an amber.
Correct.
But if you were to hit it low, you're probably never making double.
Exactly.
But you definitely could have more higher potential for bogey. So this would be higher potential for par, but also...
Yes.
I gotcha.
So in this case, I would probably go with this more risky shot. But if we were to say the pin was like 3 yards closer to us, where we don't really have
a lot
much
of green
at all, I would either take my lob wedge or sand wedge and move the ball back and actually hit like a draw image of a draw image.
I see.
And kind of with a little hook spin and land it short.
So in that type of shot, with the draw, you're basically attempting to have the first spin, well, not like it's top spin because there's never such a thing as top spin, but essentially kind of closer to top spin where it kind of one hops through the grass, as opposed to if you were to, like, let's say spin it, it's not going to one hop like that as much.
Right.
Okay.
Right. This is the safer shot, but the odds of me getting that shot up and down are a little less, but also it takes away double. I'd also hit that shot if I had a bad lie, like a worse lie. Maybe I'm in this divot.
I got you.
Or it's sitting down to this pin, I would hit the same shot. But if I have kind of a better lie where I can get under it a little bit like this, for me, I like playing this shot kind of off my front foot.
Kind of driver almost?
Yeah, like a driver.
I gotcha.
And then for me, what I'm thinking about is keeping the shaft at address more neutral. And even almost the image of having behind me.
Okay.
And at impact, I want to recreate that address position. I don't want to have too much shaft lean. That's my tendency. Because my full swing, I get a lot of shaft lean.
So then what happens is the ball speed gets a little faster.
Yep.
So that first bounce
is a lot.
Yeah, it's like a 3 foot first bounce as opposed to like maybe a half a foot.
Exactly.
That's huge when it comes to compacted greens too.
Yes. So that's what I kind of struggle with in chipping is I get too much shaft lean. So that's one of the reasons why I play it forward, because it kind of neutralizes the shaft lean.
Yeah, even if you lean it a touch, you kind of got a little bit of leeway.
Exactly. So shaft kind of neutral, face open.
I gotcha.
Slide under it.
Slide under it. That one you got a little duffy, but it's not.
Yeah. Well,
because you got more of the sole to bounce in, you're not really digging as much.
Right. And that's the benefit of using the bounce is you can kind of miss it a little on the fatter side, which is, I feel like is most people's tendency.
Yeah, because you don't want to be afraid of hitting the ground.
Exactly.
I always talk about that a lot. So if you're okay to get that where you use the sole and bounce and you start to see that you can't really truly duff it like you can with the leading edge type of duff, then people are less afraid to hit the ground. And then when they do hit a shot like you just hit, you're still going to be like 7 feet away, 5 feet away.
Right, right. And that one right there is top end par pretty much. So,
all right, let's get one more ball. Show me like a little bit of that lower one, like the technique behind that a touch. So walk me through the lower one. This one is quite interesting.
Yeah, so I'll give myself kind of a bad lie here. It's sitting down. I have no grass to get under it. So depending on the softness of the grass or how far I got to hit it, I'll either use my lob wedge or sand wedge. And it's probably a little easier to hit with sand wedge, but I'm going to show you with lob wedge. I'm going to play the ball off my right foot. And with the high shot, I was playing off my left. This one's going to be off my right. The club face is now going to be slightly closed.
Okay.
And I'm just thinking about hitting a low draw.
I gotcha.
And then I'm trying to land it in this area.
and then hopefully top spin, basically get that.
Draw spin.
Yeah, draw spin, and get that first bounce where it kicks forward as opposed to stops.
Right.
I got you.
So pretty much I'm looking at land it here, bounce to here, which is going to kill all the speed.
Yep.
And then have it trickle onto the green.
Yeah, so the difficulty of this shot is your landing spot becomes way more tight, where the higher one, you got a lot more room for margin there.
So ball position back, off the right foot, closed face, little draw.
Nice, just like that.
I landed that a little too far, but it ended up being pretty good.
Nice. I've been, with this shot that you just hit, as well as shots in general, I've been noticing, especially in Japan, I mean, I'm sure you've seen it, people kind of really open up the stance, really kind of get that handle low. And then you kind of see what I call like the chop shot, where they kind of just pick the club up and drop it down on the ball like that.
Like a tie spinner.
Yeah, like a tie spinner, exactly. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that? I know me personally, I'm a huge advocate of, if you want the whole lie to come in flush with the ground, you got to keep the handle height at the right height. You can't really lower it too much, or else it's really easy for that heel to come in.
Exactly.
And that's when I start to duff it or get the yips. Just like you said, you know, I'm practicing just on full swing. I don't practice approach for like 2 months.
Yep.
And I get on the course, I start to yip it. And then I start to realize, oh shit, that's because I'm leading the shaft and I'm really getting that handle low.
Right. So I think in general, I think approach is probably 90%, no, 80% setup and 20% feel. Because if I set up wrong, like if I'm trying to hit a flop shot with a ball off my back foot and a square face, like there's no way you can hit it high with any spin.
Yeah, the type of compensations you'd have to do is just ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think understanding how to set up to the approach eliminates kind of a lot of issues.
So you're saying this is not good?
Correct. This for is not good for anything.
You're saying this is not good? You're gonna hurt some people's feelings here, Grant.
Yeah. So what's that?
Yeah, nice. All right, let's go find a more interesting shot. That was a kind of tough one, common one.
Yeah.
Maybe let's go for like a really common run, like a mini lob. So, you know, maybe behind the green or something like that. Let's go try to find one of those.
Okay.